Hi.
Ahoy.
Ooh, all right, Captain. It's Tuesday, guys.
Yay, it's Pop Day.
Another consecutive Tuesday for us, so we are back to talk more pop culture.
I know, it's like we're a real podcast.
I know.
Which, do
With a
you
regular
know
schedule.
where you can find us? I'll tell you. You can find us live
But
on...
I know the answer.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay, fine.
You can find us live nearly many Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on facebook.com/popshow, where you can join the show, join our topic of conversation, leave your thoughts and comments, and we'll even toss to you on air. Get your opinions, read them out loud. Or you have downloaded this amazing podcast on one of our great hosts, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play, or the iTunes Store. Is that all four of them?
Yes.
Am I missing one?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention because Neil, Taylor, and Jessica have already chimed in and said hello.
Well, hello, people.
Hey.
This is why, despite the fact that Taylor called us nerds,
But we are.
we know.
Yeah.
Not an insult. Keep them coming. You are listening to the sweet sounds of Fingers out of Richmond. It is a nice little mashup that we did for my personal favorite NES game, Maniac Mansion. You could follow us on Twitter at Pop Show or Facebook 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. We're bringing you the latest in pop culture happenings. And we talk a lot about, we probably spend a little too much time talking about stuff on Facebook. I mean,
Yeah. It's so easy. It's right here on our
I
phones.
can't tell that
mean,
our employers are actually listening, but if they were, they might be a
mine
little
aren't.
upset with how often we respond to
If my
our...
employer knew how to use social media, I think I'd be, I think I'd still be all right.
Oh,
So-
Lee is joining us, taking a break from his political trolling. Welcome. I guarantee this will make you feel better. Oh,
Well,
music start again. There we
Yeah,
go.
but
Right.
this is the problem with having the computer than not. You know what? Let's just fade this music out
All right.
professionally here.
Fade it out. We are professional.
Boom.
Woo.
So we have Travis with us tonight. Travis,
I'm back.
how's it going?
Good.
We missed you.
Yeah, I miss being here.
What did
It was a
you
good time.
what'd you do in pop culture since we saw you last?
Oh, got a few things. Still working on God of War.
Okay.
Um,
Here it's decent.
yeah, I'm at a bit of an end game grind, and
Uh-oh.
I don't like grinding, so
Are you
I'm
sure?
a little.
I mean, according to the story you just
Well-
told us, yeah, that makes sense.
There will be no
No.
context for that
not,
comment.
We're not doing that. So God of War, you like it? Target. You like it?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's just one realm in the game is designed in a manner I don't particularly appreciate.
Well, our buddy Greg from Norfolk Comic Shop Local Heroes, he'll be calling in here shortly, said he loved it. He said it was one of the best.
Yep.
So that's awesome. If you guys are playing God of War, shoot
you
us.
like a good challenge, though. Anyways,
Yeah, no, I mean
you don't want the
it's-
game to be easy.
No, and it is one of those things where I get mad and then I want to throw a controller through the wall. I put it down and then I go again and begrudgingly do it again.
Well, you guys saw that video that I was sending around about the Conan's Clueless Gamer series he did of God
Oh,
of
they're
War.
funny.
Yeah, Conan's and he actually had Bill Hader on that one,
Nice.
which ties into what we've been doing in pop culture.
Oh yeah,
Barry,
Barry.
I
probably our new
want
favorite show.
to watch that so bad.
It's good.
It's worth it.
It's good. It's
it's the right kind of dark comedy that I feel like only Bill Hader could execute perfectly.
I tell ya, I feel like I have underestimated Bill Hader.
I've always liked him, but I mean,
Well,
he's
I
got
like
that-
him, but I had no opinion of him.
Yeah,
We've seen him in a few things lately. We watched Skeleton Twins lately,
that was really good.
and he's got more of a diverse talent than I ever gave him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
You see these guys and they get their big start on SNL, and you sort of put them in that comedy pigeonhole box, and
Yeah.
that's not.
yeah.
There's a lot of really talented, diverse actors that have come out of SNL.
There is, but they get typecasted, and honestly, unfortunately for Bill Hader, and I don't mean this as an insult to him because I do like him, and it's a good looking
Yeah.
man, but he doesn't have that
Yeah,
classic.
he's kind of got a goofy.
He doesn't have that classic leading man look.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
He's not a
and-
Chris.
Yes, he's
He's
not
not
an
a big
MCU
beefy
Chris.
Chris. Yeah.
Well, and he does weird stuff like with his face, his
Yeah.
his whole manner. I mean,
Hey, it worked for
He's-
Jim Carrey.
well, yeah, and he's somewhere between Jim Carrey and the dude from the Police Academy movies with the sound effects.
Oh yeah, Michael
Uh,
Winslow.
Yeah, Michael Winslow because of all the weird voices, and when he does Gizmo. Jeez.
BB-8.
No, that's great too. But Mogwai from.
Gizmo's
Nope.
Mogwai.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. I had
Gizmos,
that, sorry,
Mogwai.
I'm just having
Gremlins.
my brain is short circuiting here. But whenever he does like all the little Mogwai sounds,
Yeah.
it kills me. I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, he's really good at sound effects, and like he had done all the BB-8 stuff, and then they came back and like ended up redoing it all, anyways. But he still got the credit for it. It was so, but he's just I like him. He's done a lot of good stuff. He's always been kind of a side what?
I want to point out, Facebook fan Jessica and Chris acknowledge that Chris is our hottest. Obviously,
Okay.
yeah, he agrees. So
Okay,
very
well,
important.
all right. Quick lightning round before Greg calls in. Favorite Chris?
Pine.
Yeah, Pine, because Kirk.
Oh, jeez, I'm gonna go Evans.
See, I love Chris Evans because Cap.
Yeah.
I do love him.
I mean, I don't know. Wait, what's our qualification here? I mean, which Chris do I want to touch the most? Hemsworth.
No, it's just your favorite overall Chris.
Overall, Chris is Pine.
It's subjective.
Okay, but Pine is just dreamy. I also want to touch him, but I want to touch Hemsworth the most.
You want to touch all the Chris's.
I do.
Put that
I'd
out
like
there.
for them all to line up so I may touch them. Just the abs, though. We're not gonna. I mean, this is a PG show. We're a family show.
Yes, family show.
So just the abs. Our fan Chris says Chris Rock. Interesting choice.
I mean,
favorite
sleeper
all
choice.
time, probably Christopher Reeve. Because I love the original 2 Superman movies.
Walken.
Yeah, Chris Walken might be
Chris
mine.
Walken's up there.
Yeah, I know. Famous Chris's. Robin, says Neil on Facebook.
Okay. He's actually got a new movie coming out. It's basically The Hook, but with Winnie the Pooh. Where Ewan McGregor's playing Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
And he's all
I did see the trailer.
It looks cute. It looks, and the fact that they've got Jim Cummings as Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
That is going to sell it for me because Jim Cummings is I'm really starting to use this phrase a lot, but he's a national treasure.
Yeah, you do maybe overuse it a little bit for voice actors.
There's a lot of national treasures. I'm sorry.
I know. We have a wealth of voice actors here in the United States. We're very lucky. That Christopher Robin trailer, I was I didn't think I'd like it. And then I watch it and Ewan McGregor is all grown up and then of course the trailer is spectacular because I don't know why I doubt Disney with their properties. I don't know why I ever doubt Disney with their properties because I was all worried about Beauty and the Beast and then I cried through half of it because I was like, oh, my childhood.
Yeah, you did.
And then I was worried about it for Jungle Book and then I cried through half of that. No, I didn't. But I didn't cry through half of that, but it was really good. They haven't disappointed me yet. I'm a little interested to see how Little Mermaid goes, but
there's going to be a Jungle Book sequel.
Yeah.
The Jungle sequel? Jungle Book 2?
Yes, basically Jungle Book 2.
Jungle Book 2 second volume?
Jungle Book 2.
Has a book?
Mowgli's Reckoning.
Oh, I was trying to come up with something good, but I got nothing. I got nothing.
Jungle Book 2, First Blood, Part 1.
Oh,
Tack 3.
Different direction.
Jungle Book 2, Shere Khan's come back.
No. We're just, okay.
Moving on.
The return of Khan.
What else have you been doing, Sarah? Because we've been...
Let's see. What else have I been doing in pop culture? We have resumed Westworld.
Yes.
Which
I'm
is
behind. Don't ruin anything.
Okay. So I won't ruin anything
Don't worry,
by saying
just
that
confused to season 1.
It's confusing. But again, very strong, good script. So I am looking forward to, and kind of forgot about it until we started watching all these HBO shows and they show them in the little ads.
The docs.
Huh?
The documentaries?
Yeah, the documentaries, but also Dark Places.
Oh, the Amy McAdams show.
Amy Adams. No,
Amy Adams. I don't know.
It's Rachel.
Yeah, right. Whatever. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of Gillian Flynn's books. And she was the one who wrote Gone Girl. And they all have these really strong female leads, but they're all kind of a little...
psychotic?
Yeah. And
so they're women.
Okay. Enough of that. We'll get into that later. But yeah, there's always they're the main character though. So you have to experience everything through them and you have to, So anyway, this one though was not her strongest book in my opinion. She's only written 3 or 4 and this is one of the first ones. But it's about a topic that particularly interests me because it's about a woman who is investigating a crime, and that's kind of my jam. So I'm really excited about it.
Nice. Well, the documentaries.
No, Sharp Objects. Dark Places is a different one. My bad. Sharp Objects.
It happens. There's just too much stuff to keep
Well,
track
Gillian
of.
Flynn
There
wrote
really is.
several really good books, and I like them all.
Because we've been meaning to watch the Andre the Giant documentary and
Darn it.
and the Elvis documentary
We're
on
so far
HBO.
behind.
And yeah, we're just
I
super far
forgot.
behind.
Yeah, I forgot
Now-
about the Andre the Giant, and I'd be all over that.
And I've got 3 weeks to watch. Well, Sarah's already restarted her rewatch of Arrested Development. I'm not
Yeah.
going to have time to watch 3 seasons anyways. But the recut
That's only
of season...
because Netflix won't let you download it.
That is also very true. Netflix won't let you download Arrested Development to watch offline, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
That aside, they did release the remix or the recut of season 4, and I do want to watch that to see how it folds out. But Taylor just asked about Lost in Space. I finished Lost in Space the entire the season 1. I really enjoyed it.
I still haven't started it because of God of War.
Understandable. Dean watched Lost in Space. He really liked it. We've talked about it a bit. Won't get too spoilery, but it was. I mean, again, I didn't watch the original series. I wasn't alive for the original series, but I did really enjoy this one. I kind of like where they're going. It's the only complaint I have heard so far about this Lost in Space is the fact that, similar to Runaways, they aren't living up to the title. They're not necessarily lost in space, which I kind of disagree. I mean, they're on a planet they haven't been on before, so they're kind of lost in that sense.
Yeah, but do they know what the planet is?
No, because they've never been to it.
Did they intend to go to the planet?
No.
Then they are.
So then
lost.
they're lost.
Yes. Well,
Uh-oh.
we just lost Greg.
I don't know. I think
Taylor says that there's 3 episodes left. Happy with it. But always comparing it to the 98 version. I was not aware there was a 98
There's a movie version of it. Or was it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Matt LeBlanc, Heather Graham, John Hurt,
Speaking
Lacey
of
Chabert,
things from the 90s.
Yes.
other random people. Oh yeah, Gary Oldman. Duh.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is...
Things from the '90s. Go.
Yeah. Things from the 90s. Saved by the Bell. Which, by the way, have you guys seen this new college humor series, Zach Morris's Trash? It's
No.
funny because it's true. And, I am a big fan of Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably best anyone in Saved by the Bell. And I have during Mardi Gras, after a lot of drinks. That's another story. Anyway, so yes, next time there's Saved by the Bell trivia at Toast, we're going to own that. But, so somebody's doing a little web series for, I don't know, I think they started doing it by themselves, but like all things.
Funny or Die.
Yeah, Funny or Die.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out. Speaking of trivia, legendary host of Marvel Trivia at Toasts. Hey, Greg, you can do some trivia about Saved by the Bell at Toast next time? Is that
legendary?
No, that's
Legendary host. My Saved by the Bell knowledge is vast and all forgotten. So, no, I don't know that I could pull that one off.
I could host it. I'll host it. I'll host it in the name of local heroes.
Well-
You can hire me for one day and pay me in toast.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I used to love that show. Not
Oh.
going to lie.
Me too. It's
Well,
awesome.
and Toast is really Toast is a local restaurant for those not familiar with the Norfolk, Virginia area over on Colonial Avenue. They've got really good food based around, as the name implies, toast. And I think they've kind of found their niche with some themed trivia. What do you think, Greg?
Absolutely. They're doing The Office in a week, and
Yep.
I think that one's going to be bonkers.
Oh, we're going to dominate that. Keith was all worried because we were third place for Marvel, but this girl's office trivia, see, I talk a big game and then I'm not going to win. But no, we're going to win. We're totally going to win because I know all the things about The Office. I've watched all of them probably 8 times except for Scott's Tots, which I've only watched once because of all the cringe.
I'm just there for the toast.
And he's there for the toast.
So,
I approve.
but without further ado, Greg, we can't let you start without this.
Oh, yay! It's the video, which you'd see if you were watching us on Facebook right now.
Comics with Greg. 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 I never know how many times I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's the correct number of times. You
There
did
we
it
go.
right.
All right. Greg, how was your free comic book day?
It was nice.
Good.
A few people came out for free comics and free pizza. So I hope they got something to read and something to fill their bellies.
We saw today Facebook on Popped, they shared a great link. I say they like it's not us, about the new Doctor being revealed in the comics that was given out on Free Comic Book Day. If you're a Doctor Who comic fan.
Yeah, and you guys had I picked that up, but I just haven't read it yet. You guys had a pretty steady line. Miles and I showed up, and we got there probably around noonish.
Yeah, it was after you dropped us off at Winefest.
Yes, and it was still wrapped around the block. I think it was wrapped around the block for most of the day. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, no, it was down. There was a solid line for Free Comics until probably 3:00.
Nice.
Which is nice to see. So people come out, they wait. Hopefully it's worth the wait. They get some stuff they like. It's a great day. It's a neighborhood day. It's just kind of a fun way to celebrate this culture that we all love so much.
For sure. So what do we got? We got a big week in comics this week?
It is a big week. Very, very, very big. Lots of stuff I'm looking forward to. We'll roll in with Marvel. Marvel's got a big book this week, Venom #1. There's a Venom movie coming out, which may or may not suck, but the comic was good. And it's written by Donny Cates, who's been kind of on fire lately. He writes the Thanos book that people have loved his run. He wrote God Country, which is a terrific book from Image. He's a rising star in the comics world, and I think his Venom will be really good. So Venom 1 tomorrow from Marvel.
Good. All right. And you were propping that up last week too, so must be good.
Yeah. And you can vouch for Keith. You read his Thanos run, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I did.
Or maybe it's in your pile.
No,
it's your to-read pile. I don't know.
I have finished my Thanos run. I have read the annual. I enjoyed it. I really liked what he did with the Ghost Rider and combining all the different, I guess, entities that, the classic Marvel entities the Ghost Rider basically had combined with his powers. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah. So what's next on the list, Greg?
I think big things from him.
Good.
DC's got another huge book this week after the fallout from Metal, which was much loved and sadly over. I wish it would have gone on forever because people bought that comic. No Justice starts this week, which is written by Scott Snyder, who wrote Metal. And it's a 4-week weekly event. It's drawn by Francis Monopole, the first issue, who is always good. So this looks like it's going to be a good book. And if you read Metal, you should jump right into this. No Justice #1. #2 will be out next week, 3 and 4 the following 2 weeks. So a small commitment, and then you're in and out and done. So Justice #1 tomorrow.
Now, if they didn't read Metal, is this an okay spot to jump in on, or should they try to read all of Metal first?
No,
they can jump in on
I'm
this?
sure this is written to be accessible. I think you'll appreciate it more maybe if you read Metal because there's some story points from Metal, but I'm sure they'll catch you up. I haven't actually read this issue yet, but
gotcha.
No, they would never make it inaccessible.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, what's third and final on our list today?
My baby boy, Brian Vaughan, the best writer ever in the history of comic books.
How does he have time for anything
Writer of
else?
Saga, Paper Girls, Why the Last Man, Ex Machina. Has a new comic out tomorrow. It's called Barrier. And we gave away the first one on Free Comic Book Day. If you missed it, we'll have copies tomorrow. But the first issue came out on Free Comic Book Day. The second issue comes out tomorrow. It's drawn by Marcus Martin, who is amazing. He used to draw Spider-Man. He drew the Private Eye series that he and Brian Vaughan did. He's tremendous. These two guys work really, really well together. This is a 5-issue limited series, and it's top-notch comics making as far as I'm concerned. So,
okay.
Sweet.
Barrier 1 and 2 tomorrow.
Now, which one? Now, I just had up there the cover with the bone on it. Which issue is that? Is that the second issue?
That's the second issue, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's a great story. It's about an alien invasion. It's about the tension between the American Mexican borders. There's a little bit of pertinent current event stuff, but it's very much an alien abduction story. It's really good. I like Brian Vaughan obviously a lot. So
I mean, how could you not?
He writes any of his other work. You'll dig this.
Yeah, he writes amazing stuff. I mean, Paper Girls, Deus Ex Machina, Why the Last Man, and Saga, I mean, is ongoing right now, which is great. So, and then Paper Girls is too, actually. So, yeah, you can't go wrong with anything Brian K. Vaughan.
No.
So is he still got that United We Stand going on? He was writing that, right?
He wrote that, yeah.
Is that still ongoing?
And yeah,
Okay.
he wrote that, and that was 6 issues and collected in trade paperback.
Oh, okay. So it's not an
you can grab
ongoing
that
thing then. It's already
No, that was just
done.
a mini.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Well, where can we pick up all these fine comics, sir?
Local Heroes, Norfolk, Virginia, Colonial Avenue. You could Google local and heroes, and we'll probably show up. So
That you will.
yeah, and if you're not in Norfolk, go to another comic store, local comic or comicshoplocator.com. We'll find a really good comic store for you.
Awesome. Well, Greg, I will be there tomorrow to pick up my books, and I think I'll even pick up a copy of that Batman Ninja that just came out last week as well. I meant to pick up a copy last week, but I missed it. So,
Please do.
I did pick that up. Now, I do have a bit of a thing here.
Did you pick it up at Local Heroes?
I did.
Nice.
You know, I went in and I ordered up some Batman Beyond. There was a couple back issues that I missed. So I'm awaiting those eagerly.
Thank you.
And what else did I snag up? Oh, Doomsday Clock number 4.
Okay.
I picked that up because
Nice.
I was a little behind. But yeah, Batman Ninja, that is
Something else?
a crazy film. And I don't want to ruin it, just you have to experience it.
Well.
Just blind as you can.
Well, I'll be picking up from Local
Yeah, I'm
Heroes.
excited.
Yeah.
So, awesome, Greg. Thanks for calling in, man, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
You too,
Yep,
man.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I like that, Greg.
He's a stand-up guy. I mean, that place was packed. I mean, I figured, okay, it starts at 10. You know, things will kind of die down by lunchtime. Nope, still going strong. Drove by there later that day to get some groceries because the grocery store's down that neck of the woods too. Still line all the way down and around the block.
You know, this weekend was bananas. I mean, it was
It's a very busy weekend.
It's busy around here. You know, we are in beautiful coastal Virginia, also known as Hampton Roads,
Tidewater.
7 Cities, Tidewater, whatever they're calling it this week. We're located in Norfolk, Virginia, which means that we get the beautiful rivers and oceans and bays and
Flooding.
flooding. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
they come into our yard. But it also, you know, it was a really beautiful weather this weekend. We got lucky, so there was Wine Fest. It was Cinco de Mayo. It was Star Wars Day. It was Free Comic Book Day.
Lunatic Luau.
Yep,
Lunatic
for the
Luau.
music fans.
There was a thing at Chicks Beach. I mean, there was just tons of stuff going on. And then this coming weekend,
Yeah,
there's Tidewater Comic Con.
Yep.
Yep.
I think we're planning on, we were talking before the show, going on Saturday.
We are going on Saturday.
All right.
Saturday.
So
All right.
anybody local that wants to join us, we will be walking around on Saturday morning.
Oh,
Saturday
speaking
morning,
of con
afternoon-ish.
culture, which we
Yes.
quite enjoy, we booked a trip to go to Raleigh Comic Con.
Oh,
in
cool.
July.
In July, in the last week of July, for the exclusive reason of seeing Muppeteers.
Yeah. Carol Spinney and
That's
Steve
awesome.
Whitmere are going to be at Raleigh Comic Con in
Nice.
July. So
The thing about Comic Cons, and then we're not going to go deep into this today, but the thing about Comic Cons, which I'm sure you've probably experienced too, Travis, is that unless it's New York or San Diego
Seattle.
or Seattle, okay, I have
Emeralds.
Emerald City.
no.
Yeah,
Okay,
Emerald City.
So there's some big keystone ones,
huge
right?
now.
But we've been to a lot of the reasonably sized, but not
I'd say
humongous.
mid-size.
Yeah,
good
mid-size. I mean, Awesome Con's
Detroit-
probably the biggest one we've been to.
Yeah, we've been to Detroit.
Detroit was big, but not crazy.
No, I'd almost at the rate Tidewater Comic Con is going, I'd put it on par with Detroit at this point. Honestly, because I mean they're growing exponentially. We've got Power Rangers coming this weekend, and we've got Constantine, and we've got voice actors.
Oh, Taylor, good point. Dragon Con. I used to live in Atlanta. That took over the whole city.
Yeah, I haven't
So-
been to Atlanta, Dragon Con.
I
yet.
know. Dragon Con, I know. I mean, and I have so much family and friends in Atlanta. We could go and stay for free. I don't know why we haven't done it yet. But and our friend of the show, Henry.
Because with
Yeah,
what time?
because we do everything else.
Labor Day weekend though every year. So
Yeah, I know.
It's an easy weekend, but then
I
travel.
know, but it always winds up being the first football game.
yes.
Yeah.
So we
Yes.
always for
See, priorities. I appreciate
yeah.
that.
So but
Thank you.
I always make Keith throw a party. So we
Be
always
social.
have a barbecue and play games where we throw hammers at things. And
See, Neil's saying we should come out to San Diego because we have
we
I'm
have
going-
a friend in California.
I'm gonna say I'm assuming we have a free place to stay in San Diego.
I don't feel like
Question
we even
mark?
have
Question
to. We don't even have to ask. Fair warning, if you're commenting on our Facebook thread, it means we get to stay with you. Just kidding. Totally
felt appropriate.
So we have someone jumping in talking about who they detest. I should probably set that up for explanation.
Yes.
If you follow us on facebook.com/popshow, we don't always, but we find that we do better when we post our topic ahead of time and let you guys chime in.
So we do better when we prepare is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it
Just a
tends
bit.
to be true for most things in life, but particularly podcasts. We did that sort of like, we'll wing it thing, and it turns out that we all are better when we're better prepared.
Yes.
And I was in a little bit of a mood today. Is that fair?
What's up with everybody being in moods
I don't
lately?
know. It's because our weather was beautiful, and then it like immediately turned around and was 50 degrees and overcast and crappy.
Fair point. I'll give you that.
I mean, this is the weather of my people, so.
Oh well, yeah. He's home.
I spent all weekend waiting on Alice in Chains, and
but
now the weather has followed in their wake.
Yeah, but you've had like work stuff that you've been worried about.
Yes,
And I've had stuff. I just did this ridiculous marathon, and that literally took all my physical energy away. And Keith has to deal with me. So we've been sort of in a mood lately. Therefore, today's topic is celebrities that annoy us. So if you're following
Celebrities and characters.
characters, that's true.
We wanted to keep it kind of open.
You're absolutely right. So celebrities and characters that annoy us.
And Cheryl's kind of kicked it off already.
Cheryl's already jumped right in. Her
also Cheryl spoilers. Shh.
Oh, that's like the first
I
season.
know.
If you haven't seen that,
I know.
So her choice. We'll just jump right in with Cheryl's comment. She detests Kate Mara. And something befalls her, an unfortunate fate befalls her in one of the shows that she's in. You will have to join our Facebook page, facebook.com/popshow.
To be fair, what Cheryl said, I mean, she could have survived. I mean...
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't? I don't know. I haven't seen said show.
I only got through the first season of that show, but it doesn't matter. We're vague booking now, and that is unacceptable. So, you know what? We all made a list of celebrities and characters that we hate, and we would like for you guys to jump in and tell us who you detest and why. And, I tended to go for ones that weren't written to be annoying because I think that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because people are written to be annoying as a plot device, which I think is important. Well, it's not always important. I mean, like, for example, there are some seasons of The Office that had way too many people written to be annoying.
Yes.
Now, see, Jessica's chiming in with someone I'm kind of curious. I want more explanation on this one, Jessica. She says, her husband says, Mark Ruffalo.
Her husband needs to get Facebook so he can speak for his own self.
That's also valid.
That's another thing.
He should get Facebook just so he can
Like
comment
the
on Pop.
least offensive
To be fair, I haven't...
person in the offense.
I like him.
I like him.
But he does hedge a lot.
He gets preachy.
He gets preachy, and he is obviously...
Which is fine. That's his platform. He's allowed to do it. It's just, that's not what I look for when I follow celebrities.
My thing about him, though, is that he's
He's a local boy-ish.
well...
He graduated from First Colonial.
Right, but that
He
aside...
did have
Virginia
an
Beach.
interesting story about himself and where he may have had a certain card pulled in his life. He was on Kimmel a week or two back, and they all had to write, like, all the Avengers were on there, and they all had to write, like, where, like, it was an interesting fact about you that nobody else would know. And apparently he got together with a nice young lady in high school on the 9th green of a golf course here when he was 17
Hey, good
in
for him.
Virginia Beach.
Good for him.
Good for
So,
him.
local boy, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all right.
Hey.
I'm sure
The things you hear on the radio.
many other Virginia Beach locals can relate to that.
Yeah.
Um,
And Jessica kind of comments what I said earlier. He gets a little political, and he gets
Yeah,
agrees
I
with the
mean,
preacher,
he does get
so-
political, and that's true for a
and
lot of
that's fine.
celebrities. Yeah.
I mean, they're using their celebrity to voice their concerns.
And there's various levels of
just not
where
what I
that
want.
gets annoying, and it also, of course, has to do with your own beliefs, values, and traditions. And
I just prefer my celebrities to be like Ryan Reynolds and make inappropriate comments and
constantly.
yes, and just poke fun at himself and everybody else around
you
him.
know, though, there are some people out there who are annoyed with Ryan Reynolds. I'm not one
I'm
of them.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm
He's
sure.
another one whose abs I'd like to graze.
Everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, well, everybody's different. So you want to just go through our list while we're collecting comments from our fans?
Yeah. Why not?
Travis, you go first.
Okay. Since we started with a real person, I'll kick it off with a real person. Kate Hudson drives me nuts.
What project of hers were you like, no more Kate Hudson ever?
Okay, so I love Almost Famous. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
How
it's
could,
def-
how could you not?
it's one of my
that
faves.
movie, and she's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
And then all she did for like the next decade until she made, I think, The Skeleton Key, was make cruddy rom-coms with Matthew McConaughey or whatever flavor of the week dude they could dig up to throw up opposite her.
I didn't mind her, Matthew
And-
McConaughey, but I like Matthew McConaughey. So
No,
Well,
I like him, but
not-
even he's like, yeah, I spent a decade doing paycheck movies so that I could do the things I want to now.
That's a good point,
And
right? But
She has so much more ability than we get to see, and that's what frustrates
yeah, but
me.
like William Shatner and Fonzie.
Henry Winkler,
Yeah, they
who was
do like
also who was also great in Barry. Ooh, sorry.
oh yeah, Great and Barry, but they do like Life Alert commercials and stuff like that. You know, AARP and
Jeff Goldblum
yeah.
did like apartments.com ads at the same time he was doing Thor Ragnarok.
I mean, a paycheck
Sure,
is a paycheck.
I
And then-
don't blame you taking a paycheck. I understand you got to make a living, but when you have the kind of talent she clearly had, or maybe still has, I don't know.
I would assume.
And
she
then
still
you
has it.
don't take the paycheck movies. That's fine. Anthony Hopkins, Michael Caine, infamously, like Jaws 4. He's like, that bought me a house.
Anthony Hopkins, Transformers last night.
Yeah, exactly. So these guys, it's okay to take a paycheck movie. I don't begrudge that. Get your money, get paid. That's fine. But if you have talent, please use it. Don't just fall into that. Oh, I'm just going to keep doing this.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, though, and I don't know. If Alex were with us, friend of the show, Alex, he would certainly chime in here.
Where is Alex tonight?
There are, though, a lot of waiting for a project is a sticky thing.
Sure.
And there are a lot of movies that people who are very talented that we love have done that have gone nowhere because they were indie or they didn't have the funding or, they were discouraged.
And I get that.
Yeah, like I like Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother, and I haven't seen him on
where
a
has he
main.
done?
I think he's on a show now about a theater club or something. I saw him the other day, but other than that, I mean, he's done, and that's not even that famous because I obviously don't remember the name, and no one can think of it themselves here.
Right.
But he's stuck purely to indie stuff, and that's he's a great actor. I enjoy him, but he's just decided that's his niche. That's where he wants to stay.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that choice at all. Because I like Kate Hudson. That never would have blipped on my radar, but that's a really good point. She's way more talented than the projects that she does.
Did you see Taylor's response? I think Taylor and you might be kindred spirits on this one.
No, Tom Cruise. That was going to be literally the next thing I said. Taylor, Tom Cruise. I do not love his roles either.
Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
That was great.
Tropic Thunder
And
eclipsed,
everything like 80s and prior.
Not everything. Tropic Thunder. Enough. Sorry. Danger Zone. Oh my God, you guys, you're both fired. Okay, Tropic Thunder eclipsed Tom Cruise in a horrible way, but it did. Yeah. But yes, Tom Cruise is the top of my real people that I'm really annoyed by because I don't even really love his roles, but because I think that he's done basically the same role for the last 10 years. He's always that action guy, and then there's always the like hot girl, and then the less hot girl, and he has sex with both of them, and then the less hot girl like takes her glasses off, and then she's the hot girl but doesn't betray him. And it's always the same, and he creeps me out too. And it's not. It's Scientology a little bit, because the Scientology in general kind of weirds me out. But like every interview he does, it's like he's on nitrous or something.
To be fair, you still haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow.
I refuse to see it. I
Edge
don't
of
care how
Tomorrow.
many times he dies. It's like 1 million.
Incredible.
No, it's so
He
stupid.
He dies a lot. That should be like the premise of you. And it has Emily Blunt, who's one of your favorites.
I do like Emily Blunt.
And
she is one of my faves.
she is a
even though she
badass-
married my husband.
She is
awesome.
I'm not married to her.
You're also not Jim from The Office, who, by the way, came up today into conversation about annoying people.
Really?
Yeah.
Jim Halpert?
Yeah, Jim Halpert and Pam came off as annoying characters, but we can get into that later.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Keith, give me a real person.
All right. Well, real quick, let's check in to see what Facebook's saying before I give one of my answers. Because you guys are giving real people, I'm going to give a character to kind of throw things up a little bit, stir things up a little bit. Jessica says Keira Knightley.
I can see that.
I can see it. Let's see.
But what has she done in like 10 years?
What has
Bend
she
it
done?
like Beckham? I don't know.
How long ago? That was like 15 years
wasn't
ago.
Wasn't she in Black Swan, or am I thinking Natalie Portman?
You're thinking Natalie Portman.
That's Portman. Yeah.
What has she done
look
lately?
Look up Keira Knightley while I explain mine real quick.
I mean,
because mine is Anakin Skywalker, young version and teenage version. Only the cinematic versions, though. Because if you watch Clone Wars, he's a redeemable character, and I thoroughly enjoy him in Clone Wars.
Okay.
Clone Wars is at its core, yes, it is still a children's show. It is aimed at kids, but as you know, initially those first few seasons are very still focused on the kids and getting the kids' attention.
Sure.
But those later seasons really built the Star Wars universe and the Jedi mythos, and his character was actually enjoyable. And
Okay.
it was really good. So if you haven't seen Clone Wars and you like Star Wars, you should watch it. But Anakin is if you're worried like, oh, I don't want to see a show about Anakin, oh my God, it's going to be annoying. He is actually really good in it. So that's
FYI, the last big thing that Keira Knightley did was that latest Pirates movie that everyone forgot about.
Yeah, so
And nobody
that
saw.
cameo and that was it.
Hold on, there was
Well, the
Pirates. There was the 3 Pirates, and there was
She did
What
a
was the
movie
fourth
called
one?
Colette.
It's
Dead
No-
Man Tell No Tales.
Yeah,
that
Dead
was
Man.
That was last year.
Yeah.
She's been in like one project
Isn't there
a
a
year,
fifth
nothing really
Pirates
big.
movie
The
coming out?
Imitation Game she was in with,
that was
Benedict
actually pretty
Cucumber.
good.
I didn't see it.
That was good.
Mm.
Benedict Cumberbun was
Yeah.
enjoyable in that.
Let's see. Taylor is defending Edge of Tomorrow, but I don't believe it.
I will defend that movie.
Danielle
endlessly.
says Cameron Diaz, who basically retired.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
retired after what? Bad Teacher?
I don't
Yeah,
look
if
her. I'm
she's
just
done
gonna
anything
leave
since then.
IMDb open.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
wise for today.
So
Jessica, hold a grudge, man.
Annie was the last thing. Oh,
that's
Annie.
right.
But that was 2014.
Yeah, she hasn't
So that
done
was
much
a while ago.
since. Yeah.
Whatever.
Good
She's
Lord.
married to what's his face from Good Charlotte, and I guess they're happy. Are they still married? It doesn't matter. Go ahead, Travis.
all right. So since you've now broached the cartoon subject, so like I kind of on that same tack, and it spans a few more years than what you were talking about, but like when I was a kid watching Batman Beyond, I love the show, but Terry McGinnis, he was Batman. He was the successor to Batman in that show. For those that may not know, but
Not necessarily spoilers, but yes.
well,
It happens in the first
yeah,
episode.
I mean, yeah.
it's a
So
great show, though.
he had a girlfriend, Dana, who throughout the show was routinely put upon because, like, oh, my boyfriend just disappeared.
You needed
Yeah.
damsel in distress in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, well,
That's a great segue to
they
mine.
kept her out of that role for the most part, except for a
Okay.
time or two. But Terry would have to be like, oh, I got to go do Batman things. I have to lie to her because I have to protect her, and
Right.
so through the show's 3 seasons, she's kind of this nagging, Terry, how dare you ignore me? Typical high school girlfriend,
Okay.
on again, off again kind of thing. Really annoying. And it's not the character's fault. It's just how things were written.
I was gonna say nowadays you have like very distinct female characters.
Yes.
They stand out. They're strong. They're independent.
Well,
I mean, unfortunately that was still a product of its times kind of thing, right?
yeah.
Would you say?
Now, to a point, though, I mean, she was always shown as being extremely intelligent and capable in her own right. She just wasn't part of the crime fighting of the show because she was being kept in the dark at all times. And
Right.
that's why she was annoying,
Okay.
because she didn't understand that this guy's off, saving Gotham and whatever. Now, smartly, years later on Justice League Unlimited, they did an episode called Epilogue, where they showed Terry wrestling with the idea of telling her or just finally cutting her loose some years into his being Batman, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And she, at the beginning of the episode, he's listening to a message where she says, look, I'm done with this. I'm done with you. I'm gone. And he basically has to grovel and beg for her to come back so that he can maybe try to explain this thing to her. And he finally does. And then from there, in those comics that I am now eagerly waiting, from Local Heroes. She is in the loop. She's effectively part of the Bat family. She knows, okay, my husband is Batman. He's out there doing these things. And it helps set Batman, the new Batman, apart from Bruce and not mire him in some of those, I have to isolate myself and be grumpy all the time kind of thing.
Why did you say that name?
Quit
It's like
holding
his
that.
favorite thing.
Please quit holding that movie against Batman.
Why did you say that name?
Batman's not the name.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
name.
so her
Just felt fitting.
character got redeemed, and for a character that I really hated, bordering on just despised for like a decade, it's nice that they've made such a round turn across really two mediums to get that character in line with how she had otherwise been depicted as being extremely intelligent and capable and, there.
Right.
So I kind of like the arc there, and I've got other characters.
Yeah, see, it's always nice when you have these characters that are annoying, and sometimes they're written to be annoying. Sometimes they're unfortunate tropes, but it's nice when they can, if a show ever finally gets like an end or whatever, or they have the opportunity to get a long continuous arc. They have some sort of redeeming quality. It's like, look at the character development and look how they went from pain in the ass to someone who's actually taking an active part in the crime fighting. So that's really cool to hear. So Sarah said Sarah, you said you had someone that reminded you of that based off what Travis was saying. So what have you got?
Damsel in distress, BS. You know what I'm going to say. This is a Doctor Who companion, and I am told many times that she is not the most annoying of the Doctor Who companions, but of the ones I've seen, and I'm up through Clara.
Yes. You haven't finished with Clara yet, but we were up to season 8?
Right.
No, season 9.
We're on season 9.
Yeah, season 9.
Martha is the most annoying.
Why did you say that name?
All right, I deserve that one. Just keep your finger on the button because I'm going to say her name a lot. That's why, Batman. Yeah, no, go ahead.
You didn't say it, though.
Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Oh, my gosh. That's his mother's name. Anyway, she is by far the most annoying companion. She's a waste of David Tennant's, like one of David Tennant's seasons.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think the annoying thing as far as, as a Whovian with Martha is she had potential. Because she was supposed to be a doctor, because it was supposed to be kind of a contrast. I mean, I don't know if it was supposed to be, but the way I took it was, we had Rose, who was kind of the everyday street girl, and then you had Martha, who was a doctor. She was supposed to be a little upper class, that kind of thing. And they just kind of turned her into the doctor's not giving me attention.
Me?
And it really kind of wasted the character. And she came back and she ended up being a really good character.
Yeah, but that was like in a anniversary special or something, right?
It was later in season 4, yeah.
But okay, here's
because where do you think the German dogs came from?
Oh no, Taylor, no.
Oh, well,
is it he? Is it she or she? Your friend.
He is my friend.
He's about to be banned.
Oh no, that is a bad word.
His favorite?
Martha is the worst. Worst.
Okay, peeking.
So, well, I'm really enthusiastic about why she's the worst. So
I don't watch this show. I'm just going to stay out of the fight.
Oh, that's okay. I had no idea what you were just talking about. So
that's fine.
So
that's gonna happen.
Here's the thing about Martha. She was offered all of time and space with an amazingly awesome tour guide. Now, granted, if I was hanging out with the doctor and he looked like David Tennant and he was as cool as the character was in that season, I would be a little bummed that he wasn't in love with me too.
Let's name drop. We have been able to hang out with David Tennant.
We did. He witnessed your proposal to me.
Yes.
Which is awesome. But
keep going with that.
Was he dressed like he was in Fright Night?
No.
Near unrecognizable?
No.
Because
he
I
was
loved
good. He
that.
was good in Fright Night.
He looked like
really good in
himself.
Jessica Jones too, which will tie us into Jessica's comment here in a second.
Right. But and she basically spent the whole time while witnessing all of time and space and going on these amazing adventures, whining about how he didn't pay her enough attention. And, she's picked out of one pitiful person out of all the creatures he could encounter in all of time and space to hang out with, and he picks her, and she spends the whole time whining about it. You know, she was basically useless. All she did was get herself stuck in places. The best... Yeah. Thank you, Tina. That's absolutely it. Martha, definitely the first one that came to mind when I was thinking of annoying characters.
This whole Taylor thing has kind of thrown me for a loop now. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say Martha's been their favorite companion.
I've heard that she wasn't the worst.
I mean, okay, I'll agree she wasn't the worst,
I've
but
heard,
favorite?
No, she's the worst, but that's
How
not...
can you like Martha over Donna?
Donna's definitely the best.
Hot Donna. I
But-
have no idea.
No,
what
you got
she-
nothing.
But but like
Office though, ties into
So-
The Office. Catherine Tate.
the
Oh, okay.
argument against Martha being the worst is that if you didn't like Clara or you didn't like Amy or you didn't like Rose, you get a lot more of them. So naturally, if you didn't like them, then they would be the most annoying.
Right.
Which I've heard a lot. I've heard people say like, I can't take Amy or I can't.
I didn't
take...
like Amy at first. I mean, I've kind of come to tolerate her,
Well,
but
you know,
she's
she's really good as Nebula.
Yes. All right, so I guess that makes it my turn, huh?
Well, no, we got to segue into
oh yes, Jessica. Sorry.
Jessica's comment.
Okay, Martha, David Tennant, Doctor Who, David
Jessica
Tennant,
Jones.
Mr. Purple, or the Purple Man, excuse me.
Mr. Purple.
Mr. F. Sorry,
That's like
Arrested
Mr. Purple is like his knockoff, like Revengers character.
Yes. Jessica chimed in and said Trish from Jessica Jones, her adopted sister, adoptive sister.
Yeah.
In that show. And I agree. I really want to like Trish. I do kind of like her, but every choice she makes is so super annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously, you're smarter than this woman. Why are you so dumb?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind her until this last season.
She got reckless this last season.
Yeah.
But even then, though, in the first season, you were seeing the hints of what was to come in the second season with the, I'm just going to do it because I'm tired of being told to sit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have superpowers, and like Luke Cage isn't going to hug you to protect you from all of the things flying.
Right.
Like,
Well, that reminds me of someone else's favorite characters from those Netflix series. Another blonde in a certain Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were going somewhere else.
Karen Page.
Yeah.
I thought
To
we
be-
were turning that around on Danny Rand until
I
you said
like-
Daredevil.
I like
Danny
Danny Rand.
I
Can't
think
do
there
it.
were some missed opportunities there, but
I hate the actor. I hate the fight scenes. I hate the whole.
I think it got
thing.
I think it got a lot more flack than it needed. I think people were trying to find something to hate, and that was a whole.
The
other...
show got more criticism than it deserved. I will grant that, but that actor can't fight to save his life, and if you're playing that character, you absolutely have to be able to convincingly fight in front of a camera.
I can see that argument. I will agree with that, especially after checking out the show that you were talking about. I'm drawing a blank right now. What's the show you suggested? It's on Netflix.
Into the Badlands?
Yes, with
Yeah.
all the karate chopping and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. After watching, a few clips of that on YouTube, I was like, okay, I can see why you want the fighting to be more like that style than what we got in Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But I still stand by my statement. Iron Fist was still better than the second half of Luke Cage season
You
1.
will not convince me of that.
Yeah, we're just gonna butt heads on this one. So
Because I unabashedly love Luke Cage. So
well, yeah,
I like
but there's
them.
nothing wrong with Luke Cage. But
that second half of his season was
the
just a
second half
troll.
was
it's
weak.
not as good as the first half, but it's not awful. It's not like the show just died.
But see,
Well,
we didn't
that's
think
what
Iron
we're
Fist
that's what
was
we're saying
awful.
about that's what we think about Iron Fist.
Yeah.
We didn't. Anyways, we're getting
yeah,
sidetracked.
no, that's a whole other.
But
thing.
Iron Fist is another character that people seem to just rail
Yeah.
on. So.
That's fair.
Yeah, Sarah, you and Taylor are going back and forth on.
Yes, Donna. Thank you,
Oh,
Taylor.
Okay, we're
Yes,
good now.
Okay, no, Taylor, you're
Taylor
back
can,
in.
Taylor can contribute to the show again.
Taylor,
He's not
welcome
banned.
back. Thank you, because
Yeah, he mixed up the names.
I hate to say that we're super wrong, but you were super wrong. So yes, Donna, way better.
Why did you say that name?
Just because I wanted to use it one more time.
There you go.
So yeah, Taylor correctly agrees with us. Donna was way better, and honestly, she butted heads with the Doctor, but so did Amy, so did Clara. Donna was just more funny about it because Catherine Tate has got great comedic timing, I think.
Yeah,
But-
Catherine Chase.
And it was more of I was gonna say it was more of a flirty thing, but it was flirty with Clara and Amy too. Anyways,
Well,
we're not gonna get. This isn't playing Doctor. We're not gonna get on that.
going back to Marvel, Jessica says Luke Cage is more attractive, so it's automatically better. Another set of abs. Wouldn't mind.
Coffee.
Also gonna be at Raleigh Comic Con.
He is actually, yeah.
So I might
Sweet.
probably shouldn't do that. I feel like that would get me thrown out. But you know,
I mean, we have had certain friends make out with certain famous
no,
people.
we can't talk about that ever.
I didn't say any names or talk about any photographic evidence that never took place either.
Whose turn is it for annoying people?
I think it is my turn, actually.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. We'll stick with some Marvel. We'll stick with Marvel.
Okay.
Mystique. Partially because Jennifer Lawrence isn't all of my favorite at all.
Okay.
But Mystique, the way they have written her in the new X-Men movies, she's not a hero. Don't try to play her up like one. She is not... And again, yes, I get it. The movies are different than comics. They're not going to be direct adaptations or interpretations. But Mystique in the movies is nothing like her character in the comics.
Yeah, well, yes and no, though, because she's been a part of the X-Men before and played both sides and done... She's been rather duplicitous in her motivations, her alliances.
Yeah, but she's not even duplicitous even in
the
X-Men movies.
I get that, and a lot of it is, especially in this last movie, Jennifer Lawrence plainly phoned it in.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh well.
The whole writing on that movie was kind of phoned in too. To be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a leader. She's not.
She's not this great mutant revolutionary. She just happens to be like every third character's mother.
It was just an excuse to put Jennifer Lawrence in body paint.
Basically. And
well,
it's
but
kind
that's
of
the
annoying.
thing is that like now that she's phoning it in and is like, I want out of my contract. I don't want to be here. You can't even get her in the body paint to do the character the way they set the character up in the first two films, where she was like, I should be able to be my natural self, and I shouldn't have to hide. You know, tying into that line from Rebecca Romaine in, I think, X2, talking to Nightcrawler when he's like, you know, the world will never accept us for who we are, and, you know, no one, why would anybody look at this, and why, you know, this and that, and her response is basically like, you know, we shouldn't have to hide.
Yeah.
You know, and they tied into that in those first two movies, and then Lawrence is just like, well, I don't want to be here now that I'm famous and can get $20 million.
Yeah, and she kind of annoys me too. Like
she does.
The character Mystique and also the actress Jennifer Lawrence.
She legitimately annoys me as a human being.
Yeah.
I cannot take her outside of the role she plays, and
she was good in Silver Linings Playbook. I'll give her that. Like, I enjoyed that movie, and you know,
well,
despite
she won an Oscar for that, didn't she?
Yeah, and even was she in American Playbook? Wasn't she in that one? Or am I thinking Amy Adams again?
Gangster.
American
Hustle.
Oh, you're American Hustle. Yeah, that was her.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She was good in that too because she played a crazy person.
Yeah, psychotic. She was. I'll give credit where it's due. She was good in Red Sparrow earlier this year.
You mean the Black Widow origin movie?
Kinda, yeah. That's really what it could be.
All right.
She did a pretty good job with that, but even then, that movie had a couple issues that I outlined in our review on popshow.com.
Yes, we have a website as well.
Yes. And I am a bit remiss. I need to be on my game with that a little bit more. But God of War has been...
Hey, Fallout 4 has been taking up a lot of my time, so I totally get it. You know, DuckTales has started up again.
Oh,
there's just not enough time in the day, man.
I got a whole season of that I got to watch. I watched the first episode when it went up for free on YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
Because Disney was like, come, children of old.
That sucks me in, and then iTunes
us.
had a sale on the season pass. I was like, yes, please. So, anyways, we're getting sidetracked.
And points out Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
Which is a good one.
It is a very good movie. And I said American Hustle, also very good. Hunger Games, you know, it's all right.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
You know,
as things go, but...
Well, Hunger Games squeezed too much out of the last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, both solid films that she did really well in. And she also did Joy. Movie was, you know, okay.
Oh yeah,
movie was okay,
fine.
but she did. I mean, she did well in that.
She was good in it.
And
she can act. I just kind of can't stand her.
I mean, yeah,
off the camera. Yeah, thank you, Neil.
That's
American
how it
Hustle. Off the camera just annoys me. So I think Travis, it is your turn, sir.
Yeah. So let's see here. This is probably my most recent one, and that would be Michael Burnham. And I have spoken somewhat at length about her already on the show. She is the protagonist from Star Trek Discovery, which kind of eschews the ensemble cast format of prior shows and puts her front and center. And she's played by Sonequa Martin Green, previously of The Walking Dead. I think she was Sasha.
Okay.
The whole season is we get told in the first episode, oh, she's amazing. She's been raised by Vulcans. She's super smart. She can do all this wonderful stuff, and she's just like the best, most capable, fast-tracked officer we can possibly have in Starfleet right now. And then she immediately proceeds to screw everything up, start a war, and then the entire rest of the season is set up as like a redemption arc for her that never pays off at all in any way satisfactorily, because basically when you get to the end of the season, we get a reset button that kind of excuses that, and she gets to get up and give this big, huge speech about ideals and the things we must protect, presumably because she learned that, but nowhere between A and Z did she learn anything from any of the intervening letters and stops along the way.
Okay. So the character, not
And-
necessarily the actress, then.
Yeah, the actress kind of annoys me too, just because acting does not seem to be her first best ability.
Okay.
And I felt that way on The Walking Dead too.
Yeah.
She can
Well,
be.
Jessica mentioned The Walking Dead, and she's saying Carl makes both her and her husband's lists
yeah.
of annoying people, and I can see that.
Oh, he's gone, so yeah.
Well,
Spoilers.
him and Lori. I mean, I only got through 2 seasons of that show before I was like, this show. Yeah.
Season 2 was brutal. I skip it.
Season 1 I enjoyed.
Yeah, season
Season
1 was fine.
2, it took me years to get through, and then I finally got through it. Got into the season 3 a little bit, and then I was like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah,
So, but it's still going strong. Got a little spinoff and everything. So
yeah.
people are enjoying it. But yeah,
But-
Carl seems to be a regular one on a lot of people's lists.
Well, and I think kind of kid actors in bigger dramas like that, or even just ensemble casts, tend to have an issue, because Will Wheaton, to this day, gets told, "You're the worst part of Star Trek: The Next Generation," and he's like,
Right.
"I was 14,
Yeah.
like, and I was, I was Gene Roddenberry's surrogate character, like, I was written as childhood him." Go curse his grave.
Yeah, he was,
Like-
it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. He was just trying to do a paycheck. I mean, he didn't know how
Right,
big
well-
TNG was going to get. No one did.
No, especially those 2 first seasons. Oh, whew. lot of bad to get to the good. But
So, Sarah,
Yeah.
keep on going with our round
So-
robin here.
Okay, my next one is a character.
Okay.
Um,
Animated or live?
live.
Okay.
Neither of you watch the show, so I'm gonna have to.
prove it.
I'm gonna have to go on a bit of a rant here.
No, go for it.
because
Explain it. Let
It's
us know.
it's Kate from This Is Us.
Oh yeah, you got me.
So Kate, yeah, I know. And I will preface this by saying I know what This Is Us is about. It is about
Tears.
Yeah, it's about emotional blackmail. It's about crying every week. Like, I totally get that, and I know it, and I watch it, and I love it, and I respect the character of Kate. So the thing about
Real quick, to put it in perspective for those of us who have only seen like commercials, is Kate the bigger
Kate's
lady?
the bigger lady.
Okay.
Yes, she is a plus
Played
size.
by,
Chrissy Metz.
yes, and she's done really well. She's done well for herself after this
Chrissy
show.
Metz is doing fine. I don't know what else she's really been working on.
I think I saw her in The Last OG, which is another show I need to start watching.
She's getting other projects, which is good. The thing about Chrissy Metz is that there are not a lot of truly plus size women. I think the biggest you'll get is maybe a 10 or a 12. I think Mindy Kaling is probably leading the charge of plus size women. Amy Schumer, I think the biggest they get is like a 12, which isn't, I mean,
Melissa McCarthy.
okay, Melissa McCarthy, but
I mean, I'm just
yeah, no,
tossing
you're
that out
absolutely
there.
right. But comparatively speaking, there are not a lot of plus size women when you compare them to the population of
sure.
what we represent.
Right.
There are plenty of plus size people in our society. Health concerns aside, there's an opportunity there to show a plus size woman in a more powerful role and with a lot more confidence and with a lot more conviction and a lot more success. And there are a lot of reasons why the character is written the way she is. And I don't want to take away from that because by and large, the writing in This Is Us doesn't really bother me. Because like I said, I know I'm signed up for emotional blackmail. But I really hated that the first arc that she had was all about weight loss. I don't want to discourage anyone who has any fitness or weight loss goals, because I certainly have mine, and I busted my butt at the gym today, and that is perfectly reasonable.
Trainer busted our butts at the gym today.
Right. We work out. But the point is that I think that there's a missed opportunity there for her to, and it's fine if she wants to improve herself, but for her to be like, you know what, I'm awesome and I work hard and I have a great family and I think I'm beautiful and I've got this awesome rockin' husband who's hilarious. And you know what, maybe I could stop whining about my weight, because women do that no matter what size they are. So that annoys me as a character, because I think it puts another layer of pressure that just women don't really need.
Has she gotten better since? Once I got past that arc.
Well, marginally.
Okay.
They're never past that arc, because she's got it written into her contract that she's got to lose weight.
Okay.
So I think that she has been losing weight, but because they're not there in the show yet, she's wearing a fat suit or something. I don't know. There was an article today. I didn't get to read it. It was in Cosmo. But I still think it's a missed opportunity, and I wish that the writers would grow some stones, because although that, like, I don't know, it's a tough thing, because everyone sees a plus-size woman and thinks that she wants to lose weight. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that may be the case, but it doesn't matter. It's up to the woman. So, I mean, give her some. A lot of the characters on my list are poorly written women,
that makes sense.
and also probably
you're a writer and you're a woman,
yeah,
so
and
you pick up on this stuff.
And
more
also
than us.
probably poorly acted in some cases. Just not interpreted, I think, in the best way.
Yeah,
Sure.
I wish for more from Chrissy Metz. I think she's at a really great opportunity to be better. Mindy Kaling, the actress, annoys me for the same reason, because she's at an opportunity to be better, and she sort of plays that vapid, chunky girl. And good for her, man. She can just cry into her piles of money. I'm sure she doesn't care if I don't like her. But that was a missed opportunity. I was hopeful for Chrissy Metz. That's another missed opportunity. I would really love to see a plus-size woman represent plus-size women. Like, I think that would be really good. I think Melissa McCarthy is funny, and I think she does a good job of being real, but she treads that line very carefully. And Amy Schumer, who is a larger woman in Hollywood, is so annoying and also on my list. I don't think she's doing anybody any favors.
Thanks, Amy Schumer, for the Hulu without commercials.
Oh, yeah, true story. You know why we have Hulu without commercials? It's because of Snatched, that movie that she was in with
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Yeah,
Who
Kate Hudson's mom.
It's a genetic thing in that family.
It probably
because
is.
Goldie Hawn has annoyed me my entire life.
Well, yeah. So anyway, they had, I swear, they played the trailer for that movie 3 times a commercial break. And one day I snapped and I was like, no more. So I went ahead and upgraded us to commercial-free Hulu. And all of a sudden I'm getting texts from people who have profiles on my Hulu. And they're like, wow, no commercials. And I'm like, yeah, thank Amy Schumer. Also on my list. Okay, that was a twofer. All right, rant over. Let me know.
Well, Jessica agrees with you.
Right.
She thinks it's a missed opportunity.
And let me know if you agree with me. I mean, I understand why the writing's done. I just feel like it's lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's stereotypical. And I think I think that a lot of women feel like they have to lose weight if they're a certain size because society tells them to. I feel like there's far more women who quite enjoy their lives.
Right.
Now that they are starting to get some fashion options, God knows how long that took. Okay, that's a whole other thing. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. I just want to chime in real quick with what Taylor was saying. He said Daniel LaRusso in Cobra Kai on YouTube has been pissing him off but he thinks it's because he's supposed to be written that way. And this is good timing because I actually watched the first episode of Cobra Kai today. Mm-hmm. I'm actually kind of liking it. It could also be because I just finished How I Met Your Mother, where Billy Zabka's in Barney Stinson's, wedding party and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I don't know if I'll get the free trial of YouTube Red or whatever, how I'll do this just yet.
It's $40 a month.
It's what?
$40 a month
For YouTube?
Yeah, it's crazy. It just went up.
Jeez.
40.
Okay, yeah, I might do the trial and watch all the Cobra Kai and then call it a day. But I like what they're doing, and they have. I think Taylor's right. I think they've kind of written him to be a little more annoying because they're kind of playing up the fact that, kind of like Barney Stinson said, Billy Zabka Johnny Lawrence is the good guy in The Karate Kid, and Daniel LaRusso is the bad guy. Yeah. And they kind of even throw some hints to that because in the first episode, they're talking about the final match and whatnot, and even Johnny Lawrence is like, yeah, you still, I want to call him Billy Zabka, just like
Illegal kick.
Yeah, he calls out the illegal kick. He's like, yeah, well, it was illegal, and so they kind of have that like back and forth banter a little bit on that whole the legality of that kick, and they write the show so you're rooting for that's the first episode for Billy Zabka's character. I am curious to see where they go. The first 2 episodes are free, so if you guys watch Cobra Kai, let us know what you think, and I'll be comparing notes with you guys because I'm going to watch that second episode soon here, and I might do that free trial. So,
Yeah.
But
Anne chimes in.
what's
and
Ann saying?
Anne says that she loves Melissa McCarthy, but most of her characters are set for physical comedy or shock or gore and aren't realistic. And she says the closest she's found is the Nines.
Now, that's actually something I was going to say about McCarthy myself, is she tends to be kind of in that mold of, Fatty made it funny because she fell down or she did this or she did like.
So she's female,
and it's
female Chris Farley.
in a lot of ways.
She was good in St. Vincent.
but
Yes, I
but
will.
yeah, like
Scared the cat. Yes, she was very good in that, and that movie almost got a tear out of me.
I know that was a good movie.
like certain performances she's been perfectly strong in, and then you watch other stuff where she's just obnoxious and loud and very much in that Belushi Farley mold, and without the heart that's like when you watch Tommy Boy, and yeah, he's a big loud buffoon, but there's a tremendous amount of heart in that performance.
There's a softness to him.
Yes,
you actually say,
and she does not have that. She's very obnoxious and loud and abrasive,
I
and
can
you're
see that.
like, it's nails on a chalkboard halfway through the movie, and you're just like, please stop, just stop.
Now, Adie Bryant is an SNL cast member, and she's sort of still in that bubble, so I'll be excited to see what she does. I hope she takes some good, strongly written roles. She is a little bit of a relatively bigger lady, and she's funny. I love her on SNL.
Yeah, she's great on
She
SNL.
hasn't disappointed me. I haven't watched consistently, but
I watched the Donald Glover episode this weekend.
Yeah,
and it was enjoyable
So I'll be interested to see how she does out in the
for sure.
cold hard world.
So Neil actually brought up the guy I was actually going to bring up. So way to go, mind beams between me and Neil, coast to coast.
So you guys are like,
Yeah,
we
you guys
are
are
the
bros now.
same
Yeah.
person, and it's kind of weird.
Hey, there's somebody out there for all of us.
oh,
I'm just gonna go home and be alone now. No, but Richard from Silicon Valley as a character, and the actor contributes a little bit. I'm not.
the Verizon commercials don't really.
Yeah, their commercials, they are what they are. They don't do anything for me, but they don't annoy me so much. But he is kind of a naturally twitchier actor, and he has that look to him. And the character kind of doubles down on it. Now, with the way the character's set up in the first season, it makes sense why. He's very clearly always been that guy with his head in a math book or in code or something, and he's always found more in common with computers than in dealing with other people. And so that twitchiness is an outgrowth of his discomfort at being kind of the de facto leader of Pied Piper. So I get some of that.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't bother me as much.
Okay.
But the way the character is written to where it's like every time his company seems like they're finally going to be on the brink of getting up and really getting their feet under them, and Silicon Valley being able to get up and move past this, like the little upstart that just keeps finding a way to stumble and survive. Richard sabotages himself by completely betraying his ideals. And that's probably been my biggest thing, is when a character continuously just trades in against the things that they're otherwise set up to believe in. That annoys me because that's lazy writing.
See, and this is where I'm going to piss you off, Travis, and I'm actually probably going to piss off a bunch of people. BoJack Horseman. He is one, and I know, based on the discussions we have, I get why he's written the way he is.
Unacceptable.
I know. This is where I'm like. I watched the first two seasons, watched part of the third season, and I really tried to I gave it the good old college try.
Sure.
But he kept screwing his life up over and over again, and I think that's just it's my own personal thing too because I don't deal with people like that in real life. So if you're going to keep doing stuff that you know is inconsistently wrong and go like you sit there and say you're going to make things better, you're going to change, you're going to do this and that, and then you keep getting to your own cycles time after time after time and doing the same thing, it annoys me. Right. And BoJack basically did that the entire time. At least for the first 2.5 seasons I watched. And the third season did start to get better. They were more mocking the whole Hollywood industry itself, which I appreciated, but it got dropped because I just couldn't get past his personal defects.
Yeah.
It's hard when you can't like the main character. Right. I mean, you don't have to love them, but you have to at least be able to sympathize with something.
Exactly. And he's basically a depressive Job Bluth.
Yeah.
He is. But the thing is there with BoJack is that he is written to be self-sabotaging because of a number of things that get fleshed out. Like that basically his whole family going back to World War II is steeped in tragedy, and he is paying for 2 to 3 generations worth of mistakes by being this guy who had his mother and his grandfather before that against his mother take out all of these awful things that happened that he had nothing to do with.
Right.
And that molded him. I mean, it's nature.
I've seen that story plenty of times. Yeah.
It's nature versus nurture, and I can understand, especially if depression and the ugliness that can come with it is not something that's particularly well known to you.
Right. And I think that's what it gets down to is
show won't speak to you. I get that.
I mean, I've had anxiety just as much as anybody else. I've even gotten depressed from time to time, but it's never been a chronic problem for me.
Right.
Because when something like that happens, me personally, I sit there and say, I am fortunate enough that I can sit there in my head and say, okay, I'm in this right now. I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to fix things. I'm going to keep moving forward and continue being positive no matter how much life knocks me down. And, you know, I've had plenty of shitty family things happen to me too. And I've used that and I would like to think become stronger from it. And I just haven't been able to find anything in BoJack that I can say other than the family stuff. I could relate to that with him. But then he kept getting that same cycle and it wouldn't break the cycle.
Well, some of it is a gap in knowledge.
Yeah, I fully recognize that too.
Some of it, though, is a trope that works, I think. And I think that everybody experiences mental health differently.
Yeah.
You know,
and there are a lot of people that connect with BoJack. So, I mean,
and so, you know, the purpose it serves, I think, is good. I think that though it's hard to say on an individual basis.
Totally.
You know, and if we had someone in our lives like that, you know, how would we? Everybody has a different way back to it. But I can see what you mean. I can see what both of you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I completely understand what you're saying, and it does make sense to me. So it doesn't piss me off. It's just something that I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to enjoy BoJack.
The show for you.
Yeah. And I've wanted to enjoy BoJack because it is a very smart, well written show.
Yeah.
The characters annoy me,
and that's fair.
So
and, you know, at a bare minimum, get on YouTube, look up the Thoughts and Prayers joke. Okay. That is some brilliant topical humor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I will check it out then.
BoJack Thoughts and Prayers.
BoJack Thoughts and Prayers.
Yeah, just look that up.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Sarah, did you have anyone?
Yeah, I'm going to lump these next two together because they're basically the same. Characters.
Okay.
Also actors when I think about it. But I don't know if I hate the actor because I hate the characters that much, like Tom Cruise level hate. Bella Swan and Anastasia Steele, I lump into one big quivering mass of weak female hormones that I hate.
I can see that.
That really,
thank you, Stephanie Meyer.
Really annoys me.
And other lady.
Okay. I have read all of the books, so referenced, and I have seen all but the last 50 Shades movie because Keith and I don't have enough vodka in the house for him to watch it with me.
But why?
So, okay.
Seriously, I got drunk for that first one, and it was the best thing ever.
Why? I don't know if why is a valid question. And I respect that.
Why is Gamora? No.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay, because it's not. It doesn't matter if the movie. I mean, I didn't go in expecting fantastic cinema. Sure. I went in because the books and movies were what they were, and they grabbed my attention, and I didn't love them, but there were things that I liked about them. And Stephanie Meyer does some decent world building. And but yeah, 50 Shades is pretty much a hot mess, literally the whole way through.
Third movie has an honest trailer out, which you can find on Facebook.com/Pop Show.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Shameless plug.
What they do is bad for women. It's bad for feminism. It's bad for relationships. It's bad for teenagers. It's bad for vampire stigma. Like everything that's out there is not good.
Yeah.
It's bad for, even some adult communities that exist. Like, listen, you do what you do behind your door is not my business. And if you guys are involved in an adult consensual situation, good for you. But like when you're putting false information out there about certain things, then people can get hurt. And, it just is sloppy writing and poorly acted and super duper annoying.
I'm not going to argue that.
I will say Stephanie Meyer does have some decent world building.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, Bella
I
Swan allows way too long for her vampire boyfriend to have a overbearing, controlling
dynamic.
paranoid relationship. And then Anastasia Steele jumps right in with both feet and a lot of nonsense to continue that.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah, thank you. They're just,
Felt fitting.
they're just bad. I mean, I get they have their time and place, and I understand why women like them, and I certainly didn't feel like I wasted money on the movie tickets, but they're annoying characters.
Okay.
That's
well,
fair.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to argue that with you.
Yeah.
No.
Taylor's chiming in. He actually wants to go director a little bit. He wants to throw out Wes Anderson.
Ooh, you're going to have some people fight you on that one, Taylor.
I can see where he's coming from.
I mostly agree.
I can see where he's coming from. I don't think it comes off as pretentious, like Taylor says. I think it's a very niche style of directing.
It is.
Which is for me personally, it's hit or miss.
He's kind of the man bun of directors, but he's been like that for ages.
Yeah. Like if you look, I mentioned Honest Trailers a few minutes ago. If you look up the Honest trailer for Isle of Dogs.
No, it's all Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah, it's all Wes Anderson. That's what I meant. They did it before Isle of Dogs, and they basically compiled all of the Wes Anderson movies. And he's got his tropes, as all directors do. They've got their shots, they've got their the way they frame things up, that kind of thing. Just some of his stuff's hit or miss for me. I'm trying to think of what you really liked Isle of Dogs. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox were both fantastic, and I think Fantastic Mr. Fox was good because, again, he was adapting somebody else's work initially, so his own stylistic choices were kind of limited compared to how they were more reined in, they were more restrained.
Yeah.
And with Isle of Dogs, it seemed that way again too. And my biggest surprise, I guess, in watching Isle of Dogs was that the characters felt real. I mean, I say real people, they're obviously dogs, but they were
stop motion at that.
Yeah, right. But they actually felt like characters, like who would otherwise be people.
Yeah.
Which is my biggest single issue with all of his live action output, is that so many of his characters are so quirky beyond all belief that you're like, no human being would ever. Yeah, you've made a movie about robots. Like,
I mean, I don't see what the problem about that is.
I mean, Robot and Frank was great, but yeah, but I mean, so many of those characters, I was excited to see the Royal Tenenbaums when it came out, and I was a teenager, and I saw the preview, and I thought like, oh well, that looks neat, and then I went and saw it, and I was just like, what is this?
Really?
Yeah, couldn't do it.
I thought those characters were.
They're so defective that it's like you can't.
Well, I think it goes back.
Have you met a fellow human?
Yes,
I think it goes back to
understand.
what we were just talking about BoJack, though. You just couldn't relate to those characters, you know?
I think that, I don't know. I mean, the reason why it appealed to me was because, I don't know. I think maybe the weird and the level of quirk appealed to me because I used to work in news and I watch a lot of documentaries and people just are really, really effing weird.
Oh yeah, no, they really are.
So I kind of like appreciated that.
I liked the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I mean, I thought that was hilarious. But they were very quirky characters though. But I think the setting for that allowed for more quirkiness.
See, and that was another one where I was like, okay, I'll give him another shot. And again, I was just like, what is this?
I see what you mean, in that like he tends to make his fake characters more real and his real characters more fake. Like I kind of see what you're saying there, but I don't know. I mean, he's not on my top 10 list, I don't think, but I enjoy everything that he's made.
Because I felt that same way about Moonrise Kingdom. I saw Moonrise Kingdom thinking, I'm going to enjoy this, and I was like, all right, it was good, but it's not,
Now,
whatever.
See,
it's a movie.
Of his live action output, I enjoyed Rushmore for what it was, and then of his more recent stuff, Grand Budapest Motel, I will give credit where it's due. I did enjoy that movie.
Oh, that was fun.
And I just really liked the progression of time and how that story unfolded.
Yeah.
So there was some legitimately good character growth there and some things there that made people feel real. And if you have heart in your movie, then I'm okay with it. Generally speaking, I guess.
Right.
We've got some Facebook comments to catch up on.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll hit on Tony's real quick, or Rob's real quick.
Don't you be going after Michael Bay outside of Transformers.
Well, that's pretty much.
I know it's coming.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with the Michael Bay Transformers era. So, but Anne was actually agreeing with you about Kristen Stewart. Just her in general.
Yeah, she's a flat actor.
Yeah,
Adventureland.
Was it Adventureland?
Yeah, but she always plays the same character.
Yeah, she does, and that character was kind of written.
I liked her.
I feel like with that style in mind.
American Ultra.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's the
opposite Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
I honestly,
I liked her in that.
I worry about Aubrey Plaza in the same way, and I think that she's so much more talented than Kristen Stewart. But I feel like
she's feeling that sarcastic.
She's that.
But
weird, quirky.
Her.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Accounts.
Well, if you're an actor, then you need to.
I understand that. I get it.
But yeah, I'm worried that she'll be typecast. I mean, I really liked her in Ingrid Goes West, but that wasn't too much of a departure from from
that movie
April.
was pretty much written for her. That's
right, and that's good work if you can get it, and it'll last her. I mean, there's always going to be a need for a character like that. It's a good foil, but that'll never really. Kristen Stewart knows.
Yeah.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Napoleon Dynamite. Still don't get why people love that movie. Don't get why people love the character. It's quirky. Maybe I'd like it now, but I haven't seen that movie in 10 plus years. I thought it was the weirdest thing ever 10 years ago.
So, being from the Pacific Northwest as I am, and that movie having been famously made in southern Idaho, I have been where they have made that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie is very strongly southern. Like, if you've been there and you've seen it, a lot more of that movie will resonate with you.
Does anybody else have a problem pinpointing a decade of that movie?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was set in current time, but southern Idaho is at least 20 to 30 years behind the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well noted.
I believe it.
There's little pockets, and that particular movie, yes, it's weird, and I'll grant that, and I understand why some people don't get it. But if you go there and you see the people, and you're like, oh my God, there are still people walking around who definitely are these exact people.
Who's the actor?
They exist.
John Heder.
Another one typecast.
I haven't really seen much of him since.
He was in
a Will Ferrell movie, The Blades of Glory.
Yeah, and he was in not Nacho Libre. He was in another one. No, yeah, he was in Nacho.
He was in Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
Jack Black was the only one I remember from Nacho Libre.
He has done Stretch Armstrong and the Flex Fighters voice acting.
I was gonna say.
He's done some voice acting. He was in the Turtles. He was that frog. He was Napoleon Dynamite Frog.
He was Napoleon. Okay, so the new Turtle show, you guys should watch it. Again, it's like Clone Wars. At its core, it is still a kids show. But if you know they wrote it with the adults and our generation in mind for introducing any kids we would have to the Turtles. And so they've got old 80s Turtles references. They've got comic references. They got movie references. They've even got Venus references from the Next Mutation TV show that everyone hated in the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was late 90s. Anyways.
Yeah.
But they throw references out like that. And in the 80s cartoon, which was basically just a toy machine, as many cartoons of the 80s were, there were a group of 4 frogs that were counterparts to the turtles that Shredder created to battle the turtles, and they were named after famous conquerors. Napoleon Bonaparte, Attila the Hun, Genghis Frog, and I don't remember the 4th one. I can never remember the 4th one. Anyways, there were 4 of them. Anyways, so they flash forward a few years, and it's mid 2010s, and they're re-pulling those characters out, giving them new stylizations, and they have the other 3 general style frogs fitting their namesakes, but they decided to go super quirky with Napoleon Bonaparte and made him basically Napoleon Dynamite as a frog, and they had John Heder voice him, and it was hilarious.
Oh, there you go.
So,
see, it all comes around.
Yeah, it does.
It'll find you eventually, Keith.
Somehow. So
we've got a debate going.
So what have we got?
Brad Frick with the... You talking about the Will Ferrell action here?
Yeah, Taylor confirms that it's basically Southern Idaho stuck in the 70s for Napoleon Dynamite.
So
Brad cannot stand Will Ferrell.
Now, Mr. Frick there is someone else from my Navy circle.
Rasputin.
And I think we've briefly talked about this before. I disagree with that. I do think Will Ferrell's cinematic output with Adam McKay is a little overplayed.
Crazy pills!
But I dearly love the 2 Anchorman films and Talladega Nights.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby!
You're just ready with that, aren't you?
Yes. It's fantastic.
That's the whole point of this thing.
Now, outside of that, Everything Must Go, I thought was a nice departure from the sillier,
nice departure,
thing.
Marketed horribly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Stranger Than Fiction, solid film.
Yeah.
I really liked. I mean, it's about a writer.
Yeah, it was.
Sort
I
of.
thought it was written very well. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah. So I get some of what Frick is saying there, but I don't fully agree because Kicking and Screaming was awful.
And you're missing one of the best ones, Step Brothers.
Oh God, Step Brothers is incredible.
Step Brothers, Anchorman, and Talladega Nights. Top 3 Will Ferrell movies for me.
Oh yeah, easily.
The Lego Movie.
Yeah,
My favorite Will Ferrell movie.
Do you really say that as a Will Ferrell movie? I mean,
he's Lord Business, and also the dad.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was stupid in The Office. They didn't need him there.
He was in The Office?
Yeah, he filled in.
I didn't even know he was in The Office.
Yeah, he filled in. It was unnecessary.
Oh, is that like when Michael Scott had left and they had like all the celebrity cameos or whatever?
Yeah.
Jim Carrey was probably the best
one.
Oh,
Old School. Robert says on our Facebook.
Oh, God, I forgot about Old School.
How could we forget about Old School?
Old School's good. Not my top 3, though.
Yeah, probably. Well, top Will Ferrell movies is a whole other thing that'll, probably kill Brad if we go through it.
Yeah.
And Taylor chimed in. It's Rasputin the Mad Frog, so thank you for that, Taylor. Neil's asking about Casey Jones being part of the new Turtles. I haven't seen him in the new, I guess, what will now be dubbed the 2018 Turtles. Magic Turtles is basically what I'm going to call it. Teenage Mutant Magic Turtles, because they've got all these magic abilities now.
What?
I'm going to give it a chance. I will watch it, because I was the same way about the new Turtle, the 2012 Turtles. The CGI style, I was like, oh my God, this is annoying. The toys came out, I was like, all right. The first wave of toys were really solid.
Yeah.
I've still got a few of them around here just because they were.
There's a big surprise.
I know, right? They were done really well. No, I don't think they're in. I think I got some in my office.
No, but there's no shortage of turtles in the room with us.
No, not by far.
That you don't somehow that you have a cat and a dog, but not 4 pet turtles astounds me.
Aquariums are very expensive.
2 cats and a dog.
Yeah,
I mean, do you need the aquarium for a turtle?
Let's
think about this.
Are they
running?
The house.
Yeah, we're not gonna let them roam the house.
Are they going to run anywhere? You get like a playpen.
No, that's how you wind up kicking a turtle against a wall by accident.
Well, no, you put them in like the little playpen thing.
Are you going to put a bell on them so you know where they are?
I mean, they're turtles. They move pretty slow. Probably
so you're going to
like the bell.
You're going. Okay, we're going to go over a dynamic of turtle wrangling later.
Turtle wrangling. Next week on Popped.
Whose turn is it? Is it my turn?
Sure. I said Napoleon Dynamite, so you or Travis. If you
Oh,
guys
it's
got-
Travis's
Yeah,
turn.
I think it's me. Gosh, let me think about this.
Well, here, while you're thinking of that real quick, Taylor said that he feels like they're turning the Turtles into Power Rangers every 3-4 years. They get some kooky new version of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sort of, kind of. I mean, we got the 2003 cartoon, then we didn't have anything until 2012, and then we have now 2018. So
and
not
movies.
Yeah, and the Michael Bay Turtles
Was I not
movie,
supposed to talk
and then
about that?
and the 2000, and we try not to. The 2007 movie, which was decent. It was decent. It was
Ooh,
better than the Michael Bay Turtles.
Neil wants
but-
to know most annoying turtle.
And none of, most
Raph.
annoying of the core four,
Raph.
I'd say Leo.
Raph.
I have to think about this.
Neil's got inside to what our
I'm
group
not
conversation
prepared
for
was,
this.
so
Yeah.
he knew what he was doing.
There's a lot of things that go into this. Okay, are we?
I mean, my ranking of turtles from best to worst: Mike, Don, Raph, Leo.
from best to worst?
Yes.
Don, Mike, Leo, Raph.
Okay.
I like Raph,
Yeah, I don't.
but he's fourth
Leo
best.
is
Yeah.
king because blue and two swords, and he's like the big brother who actually has to do things.
No, you're gonna be so
lead
annoyed
the
by this.
charge.
Okay,
you're gonna be
but-
so annoyed by this new incarnation of them. Then
But when we
I
get,
know.
but we've had this conversation about weapons, and you know,
Hey, you know what?
Weapons on a kid's
no,
show.
I'm just talking weapon coolness right now. I'm not talking functional.
okay, all right. So Leo's
Weapon
number one.
coolness, two swords crushes everything else any of the rest of them
okay,
have.
then no, because then you need to watch the new Turtles cartoon, the 2012 version, because Michelangelo has physics-defying nunchucks, the Kurisama, I think, where it's basically it's regular nunchucks,
The nunchucks are number
But-
two behind the two swords.
but then like he will like chuck them and like the
Are
chain
they made of vibranium?
they
Is this
mi-
a crossover?
I have no idea. The chain somehow extends,
no,
and he's got
please.
blades on the bottom of his nunchucks now,
I
and
mean,
like
that's
he
cool.
extends, and it turns into like a grappling hook, so it's even cooler than the swords.
No, because swords are swords. And
No.
That's just cool.
Nah, just
You don't have to dress up a sword.
look what Neil's done to this group.
Neil, you've ruined us.
But back to Taylor's point, Power Rangers, they put a new version out every year because that's what the Japanese are doing.
Well, yeah, because you have to take the footage and adapt, and there's
Right.
no way around that. But
So the Americans have managed
That's
to.
more a criticism on the Power Rangers business model.
Yeah, they have.
yeah,
The Power Rangers have managed to stretch out 1 year of Japanese footage into 2 seasons of
right.
Power Rangers. But that's also because they've got super long seasons over in Japan, and we have shorter seasons here. So
Right.
But they stretch that out. And they
Okay,
do
we
that.
got to finish turtle list. Travis's turtle list.
So typically I go.
Okay,
Leo.
but you can't do forever explanation.
No,
or we're never going to go to bed.
I know. I was literally just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna go Leo, Mikey, Dawn, Raph.
Okay,
Okay.
solid list.
Yeah. No.
Just-
I'm glad Mikey was not last on anybody's list.
No, why?
Appreciate it.
No.
Nor is
He's
Donnie.
Pleasant.
Because actually, I'm going to tie this back into the topic, bring it all the way around full circle. Sometimes they write Mikey as the butt of the joke. They
Yeah.
don't give him any depth, and it annoys the crap out of me on some of these shows because they write him very one-dimensionally, and all he is this goofball jokester that has no development and no depth to him in the sense that he has other things besides skateboarding and eating pizza.
Right.
In the comics, he actually became a writer in the comics. He used to, write poetry and stories and stuff, and April would get it published for him. He's the heart of the team.
Right.
And they did a little bit in the 2003 cartoon, and he's actually probably, they don't, God, I'm going to be such a nerd.
Whoa, we are way past that.
Yep.
But he's actually the best fighter of the 4 because he's the most agile. He's not the most disciplined. So that's where he has his problems. He loses focus.
I will say, Donnie having a crush on April in this last series was annoying.
Okay.
I can see
that.
And Donnie's my favorite
Yeah.
because I am a brains over brawn kind of gal. No offense. You're plenty brawny, but I like your brains.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But that whole arc with him being in love with April was just super annoying and stupid.
No, I can see that.
They don't need that.
I can see that.
I mean, I get it. But
Him and Casey Jones antagonizing each other was kind of funny.
I did appreciate that.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. Do we have anything else that we want to kind of You're not sorry, Neil.
Neil's not sorry.
You know
what
what
you
you
were doing.
did.
If you want to join Neil in antagonizing us every Tuesday, please join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, facebook.com/popshow,
Yes.
where you too can get us to dramatically derail our conversation into whatever you want us to talk about. We're obviously easily manipulated.
We really are. But we also have a lot of different things going on in our head all at one time.
True.
So you really could distract us that easily. So
There are so many more annoying characters that I didn't even mention.
well, you rattle them off real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Piper Chapman,
Orange is the New Yes.
the main character, Orange is the New Black, couldn't stand her after the first season.
Least favorite character on that show.
Yeah, super annoying. Zoe, one of the mother candidates from How I Met Your Mother,
Tried to say the Arcadian. Yep.
tried to save the Arcadian. Appreciate that, and it is the only thing about her that I appreciate. Robert California, love James Spader, but he was really dumb in The Office, and it didn't make any sense, and that really annoyed me. And Amy Schumer, I brushed on, but I feel like that needs more emphasis. I'm really annoyed by Amy Schumer.
Okay.
All right.
I had a couple more. Dragon Ball Z, Goku. And
Okay.
that's kind of an anime thing in general. The main character is usually the lamest character.
Okay.
By default, they never grow. They just are static. I
Alright.
hate that. And then, Spider-Man. I'm about burned out on Spider-Man.
Just
Which version?
Spider-Man?
Okay, so
The concept of Spider-Man?
baby Spider, like Spider-Man as a teenager all the time, like who's never actually a man. Spider-Man with teen angst. Well, it's at the core of the character.
I will say
And
that
it's just come on.
Batman origin story,
Grow
annoying.
him up. Yes.
Batman angsty
I-
about his parents. It's annoying.
Is that why you're waiting for me? Sorry. I
Yeah.
had something else.
You
going.
Why
missed
did you
it.
say that?
There we go.
There you go. Sorry. I had something else.
I
in the
know. Here we are
background.
just pausing all
I mean,
awkward.
look, it comes down to writing in both instances there, whether it's Batman or it's Spider-Man. But because I will say I've largely enjoyed Tom Holland's portrayal, so I don't dislike Tom Holland. I don't dislike him in the Avengers in the last week or two here. But the character, I would like whenever they get to the next round of movies, which is coming.
Yep. Give it time.
Just give it another 5-6 years. I'm sure we'll be there. Grow him up a little bit. Maybe actually show us Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy.
Well, I think once
I'm
people
kind of
get more familiar with the character as an older, I mean, everyone's still familiar with him as a teenager.
but he grew up in
If-
the comics 40 years ago.
Okay.
For the mass people, though, what Spider-Man cartoons are still coming out?
I've got to
No,
say,
I-
too,
I-
and for the
I get
good
that.
of the longevity of the MCU,
Also valid.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
You gotta
they're-
have kids.
They
You gotta
legitimately
keep-
have to have him grow up. But
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole selling point. That's why Spider-Man did so well 50 years ago. Is because
he was
before
the kid.
there was no kid superhero at that point. You know, the kids were only sidekicks until
Yes,
Spider-Man came
and
along.
I do get that, but at some point, like, because even the '90s cartoon, he was at least in college,
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, like, can we at least get to the college years?
right. No, I'm with you.
I got to say, Robert Neal, Jason Biggs is more annoying than Piper Chapman.
What did Jason Biggs ever do to anyone? I mean, he
sexy
disappeared.
pie.
He disappeared.
Yeah, after
Yeah,
a
is he
gone
racist
now?
tirade.
Yeah, he
really?
disappeared after American
Yeah.
Pie, came
Okay,
back.
I missed that. I
and
missed
then
the tirade.
He used the voice Leonardo. Full circle. Used the voice Leonardo in the first 2 seasons of Turtles in this
Yeah.
most recent run, and then he went on some sort of racist, inappropriate tirade on Twitter, and Nickelodeon booted him. And they actually handled the voice change really well in the show.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Who'd they give it to? I'm
Seth
just trying
Green.
to
Seth
think.
Green.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
Seth
Scott
Green.
Evil. What's his
Yeah.
real? Yeah. Why?
I was thinking Robot
of
Chicken.
all
I
the
was like,
Robot
characters
Chicken,
he's done, I go
Chris
to
from
Scott
Family
Evil.
Guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, and-
no, I didn't know about that. That was probably when I was in Bahrain, so I was just like
Yeah, it's
out of
probably
the
possible.
bubble. completely.
Unfortunately, racist tirades and celebrities are unfortunately commonplace.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate to
It's-
normalize it, but it starts to run together.
Yeah.
it's hard to love as many Mel Gibson movies as I do, knowing that behind that
Right.
he's just a completely crappy human.
Well, that goes back to some of the original comments about Ruffalo and his political stuff,
Yep.
and Tom Cruise and
all of his.
Yeah,
moments,
his personal stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to stop talking about this.
Yeah. Anything else? List them. Anything else?
No, because we'll be here all night.
Okay. Well, with that.
Let us know what you think, though. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/popshow. If we missed any truly annoying people, we want to know about them because we probably agree or have a great reason why you're wrong. Or we just want to chat because we're big giant nerds and we need people to talk to on the internet.
I live alone and I do not have a cat to talk to, so.
We have a spare.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. I know we like them both. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Travis. Good to have you. Good
Happy
topic.
to be back.
Thanks to everybody who chimed in on our Facebook page. We are live
most every Tuesday
every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We broadcast live on Facebook, or you can download our podcast on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Podbean. Those are the four. That's where we live. You can follow us on Twitter at PopShow and visit popshow.com for our reviews, general awesomeness, what we're talking about, what we're doing, what we think, movie reviews, TV reviews, video game reviews. We want to hear your opinions. So log in, join us, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
See you then.
Until next time.
Bye, guys.